Oil's headed first. Alpesh Patel is principal at Profinium Group. Alpesh, thanks very much for taking the time to join us and obviously joining us from London today. You're hearing Addison Armstrong go through just how much of a toll gasoline prices have taken on the consumer. Which way are they headed?
Well, it's very difficult to make a case for oil falling at the moment when you consider natural disasters tend to push the price of oil up. When you look at political disasters, which are pushing oil up, and you look at global growth, China still growing at 10%, India at 8% next year, and Europe and the US economies all growing. It's very difficult to make a case for oil heading anywhere other than upwards.
And Alpesh, I know you're making the case for the political side of things, but interesting from Addison's analysis, at gasoline at $2.70 a gallon in the United States is when you really start to see a drop-off in demand. Obviously, $2.70 is something you see when oil is below $90 a barrel, far from where we are right now. So are you concerned that the demand out there does not support the oil prices that we're seeing, or would you disagree?
You see, the thing with oil demand, let's take the US consumer, you're going to have two types. You're going to have the inelastic demand, where it's going to be the kinds of journeys which people have to make, and they're journeys which add to the economic growth of the country. They might be business-related trips and so on. And then you've got the discretionary trips. Now, if those kinds of travel is cut back, it might be no bad thing. The money will simply, instead of being spent at the pump, will end up being spent elsewhere in the economy, and it's not necessarily damaging to the economy as a whole. And what it does mean in terms of...
That's a really interesting point. No one's really made it. They just assume when people pull back, it's a sign of weakness. But you're right. It does mean money available for something else. Bottom line, though, Alpesh, I know it's hard to forecast oil, but when you say it's hard to make an argument for it to do anything but go up, what sort of magnitude are you thinking is reasonable?
I would have absolutely no problems putting my neck on the block and saying $120 per barrel this year, $120 per barrel this year.
Wow. All right. Well, Alpesh, thank you very much. We appreciate that. So with oil at 108, and you heard Alpesh, some saying it could go as high as 120, that may make your jaw drop, but will that mean equity prices start falling? They have been utterly resistant to the rise in oil so far.